there's a place that seems to exist between worlds. A quiet town wrapped in fog, sitting beside a dark lake. That place is Silent Hill, and if you listen closely enough, you can almost hear it breathing. While Halloween is in the air, let's explore what Silent Hill really is, where it came from, how it became cursed, and why it calls to the broken. Because in Silent Hill, the monsters aren't just waiting for you, they're born from you. Long before the resort, before the fog, before any map had the word Silent Hill written on it, something ancient slept beneath those hills, a kind of power, a nexus of the supernatural, where the barriers between worlds thin, neither good nor evil, just there. It drew in the area's first people, the Toluca, native tribes who sensed this otherworldly presence and lived in balance with it. They didn't try to control it, they respected it, offered prayers to it. Maybe they even understood that this wasn't a god in the strictest sense of the word, but a kind of spiritual current running through the very earth. For a while they balanced the harmony of the entity, but balance never lasts. When settlers arrived, that connection the Toluca shared with it was shattered. Colonial expansion pushed the tribes out, displacing them, and when that proved unfit, massacring them, replacing the tribe's reverence with exploitation. The newcomers saw only opportunity, a scenic place for a resort, a growing settlement, but above all, resources to be exploited. But the land remembers the taste of pick and axe. Strange plagues began to infest the colony. Strange fires broke out, seemingly without cause. There were stories of people disappearing into the mist, disembodied voices by the lake. And over time, tragedy piled upon tragedy. Witch trials, executions, the construction of a prison, and eventually an asylum. Every act of cruelty, and every scream, every unjust death and drop of blood soaked into the soil. Whatever the power beneath Silent Hill was, it began to change, to metamorphosize, until it became something much, much darker. Out of that darkness rose a cult known as the Order. They believed the town's power was divine, that beneath the surface was their god, Samael, waiting to be born again. One of their followers, Dahlia Gillespie, believed her daughter Alessa could make this rebirth happen. See, Alessa wasn't like other children. She had psychic abilities that manifested into a deep and dangerous sensitivity to the town's power. So Dahlia forced her into a ritual, one meant to birth their god into the world. But as these things do, it ended in catastrophe. Alessa's power reacted violently, setting the ritual site ablaze. The fire tore through her home, leaving Alessa burned and broken, yet alive, barely. Left with little choice, the cult hid her away, keeping her alive so the ritual could continue. But something else happened that they hadn't foreseen. Alessa's soul was cleaved in two. One half remained in agony, trapped in Silent Hill's perpetual cycle. The other was reborn outside the town, a baby girl, found and adopted by a man named Harry Mason. He named this foundling Cheryl. Years later, Harry and Cheryl set out on a trip, only to be consumed by the heavy fog of Silent Hill. They crash and Cheryl disappears, and what begins as a father searching for his daughter becomes a descent into a nightmare, a twisted, warped reality that just should not exist. The cult's magic had called her back, half a soul yearning for its twin. Dahlia wanted the two halves of her daughter, Cheryl and Alessa, to reunite so that the ritual could be completed, but Alessa had other plans. Her fear, pain and hatred shaped the town itself. The streets twisted into impossible corridors, treacherous to navigate. The world peeled away, only to reveal its bones the colour of rust and blood, and between it all, darkness. Monsters stalked the fog, not demons, but twisted physical manifestations of Alessa's anguish. The power beneath the town gave her mind a terrible form, and everyone caught in it would suffer. In the end, Cheryl and Elisa do merge. For a brief moment, the pain ends, the nightmare collapses in on itself. But Silent Hill cannot die. The power that fed on suffering was too deep, too old, and far, far too hungry. Even after the cult's plans crumble, the fog remains, and now that power begins to draw others in. Now, Silent Hill becomes more than a place, it becomes a mirror. It pulls in people who carry unbearable guilt, grief, or trauma, and forces them to face it. A grieving father, a man haunted by what he did to his wife, a woman searching for her faith. They each step into the mist and find a town shaped by their own minds, by the things they can't forgive themselves for. The monsters, well, they change depending on who's there. For one, they might look like nurses, symbols of desire and guilt. For another, executioners, punishment made tangible. For yet others, grotesque parodies of the people they hurt. The town doesn't hunt you, it makes you hunt yourself. But what is Silent Hill, really? That's the question, isn't it? Is Silent Hill evil? Is it a sentient god judging humanity for its wrongs? Or is it a neutral force, like gravity, that simply reacts to what's inside us? Maybe it's all of those things, maybe it's none. The cult tried to control it, the victims tried to escape it, but maybe Silent Hill is never meant to be understood, only felt. The fog hides more than the streets, it hides truth, and sometimes facing it is the only way to move on, even if it destroys you in the process. I think what makes Silent Hill such a powerful setting isn't just horror for the sake of fear, or thick fog to hide jump scares and poor draw distances. It's the fact that Silent Hill reflects the character you play. It's a piece of someone's pain made visible. And maybe that's why the town endures in gamers' memories. Silent Hill is a place where the things that come crawling out of the fog are not only terrifying, but polished mirrors we don't wish to see our reflection in. And that's the finished painting, a small offering to Silent Hill, or at least to what stirs beneath it. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore of Silent Hill, consider subscribing. Your support is always greatly appreciated. And let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Until next time, farewell.